Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got another review on the recently released St. Paddy's Day Objectives card, Jeff Hendrick. We're going to go through the card's detail stats, clips and summary, as well as what you guys have to do to get your hands on him. Before we get into all of that, if I could ask you guys to please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you know when I upload, and comment down below if you're going to be doing this card. And without further ado, let's get into the review. So guys, this is a team that I use Jeff Hendrick, and I played him in that 4-2-3-1 slot. I had to start off in a 4-3-3 to fit him into this formation with Daryl Horgan and Aaron Connolly. Started him in that centre midfield and then moved him between either the DM spot or the attacking midfield spot. And overall guys, my first impressions of this card is actually, in my opinion, the best of the three cards that have come out. I did actually quite enjoy using this card, and it was quite a decent card to use. He's not top level guys, but he is a decent card nonetheless. But without further ado, let's get into the review. Jeff Hendrick, 6 foot tall, medium high work rates, right footed, 3-star moves and 3-star weak foot. So guys, overall, not a bad sort of level to start off with. The skill moves are a little low for you skillers out there, and of course the weak foot is a bit low as well. Would like that to be one higher. Overall guys, I think this card is really well balanced in terms of how it plays. 7 games played, 2 goals scored and 3 assists. Now guys, although he does have medium high work rates, I wanted to try him in that further forward spot to see how he played, and he didn't actually do that badly for me either. So I do think this card is very capable in all the midfield positions. In terms of chemistry style guys, I tried a shadow on him and I tried the artist. I do feel like actually the engine may be the best fit for him considering his lack of agility. Overall guys, I feel like all the chemistry styles really affected him in different ways, and it boosted him in different ways as well, so you could go a number of ways in terms of the chemistry styles. Getting into the key pros and cons of this card now. The key pros of this card, that 90 stamina is phenomenal. It feels higher than that actually. He is running the entire game, makes a lot of effort up and down that pitch and does really well in terms of just winning the ball back or putting in that effort to get challenges in and stuff like that. His passing range is pretty decent as well, and his general play all around the field in terms of dribbling, passing, shooting, pace, physical, defending, all of it. He is decent at all of it guys, and the defending could use a little boost if you are going to play him in defensive midfield. On the flip side though guys, he could be that transitional player for you, getting up from the back and joining the attack late to finish off chances as well. So he's more than capable of doing a number of things as well. In terms of player traits guys, he's got the outside of fish shot trait. That's the only trait to speak home of. I would like the playmaker trait as well, but overall guys, I think we can't complain too much given this is a free card. And now that we've covered all of that, we're going to get into what the grind requirements are for you guys to get your hands on it. So guys, to get your hands on Jeff Hendrick here, and you guys can see on the screen that we've got Aaron Connolly here too. To do Jeff Hendrick though, you do not have to do any other objectives other than this one, which is play 14 matches in the managerial masterpiece with at least 4 Republic of Ireland players in your squad. It is a bit of a drag guys, so the way that you could do it is to just put your controller down with the analog sticks up. If you don't want to play the games as well, you just have to be in the matches. That'll give your opponent a nice easy win as well, allow them to do some objectives whilst you're away. But overall guys, it is the biggest drag of these objectives as well, so please do bear that in mind. And now that we've covered that, we're going to get into some of the clips that I got with him. So guys, getting into some of Jeff Hendrick's clips, and what you guys are going to see here is his general all-around midfield play. Now guys, of the 3 cards that we received in this St. Paddy's Day objectives, I think Jeff Hendrick was actually the best one for me. I do think that out of the 3, he'd be the one that I would use the most, and I certainly will be using him in Premier League first owner squads, certainly for things like icon swaps or friendlies that are required. This will be a card that you can slot into your squad and actually use to a decent level. Now the first thing I want to get into guys is his overall gameplay in terms of defending and passing. Now he does have medium high work rates, but his defending isn't the strongest. This card is really a transition player, one that you take the ball out from with the midfield and drive forward with. Now he has stamina for days as well guys, but we'll get into that shortly. His passing range is pretty decent, and that allows you to spray the ball about a little bit, make good passes with him as well, and create reasonable opportunities from deep as well. In terms of his defending guys, it's not the best, but it's still usable enough to be able to go and do things within your defensive end of your team. Getting into what is probably my favorite part of this card, which is the stamina and physicality. This card can run all game guys, and that's really something that's fantastic about this card, is that you really don't have any issues with stamina towards the end of the game where other players are tiring. This Jeff Hendrick is still running all game long, and it really is a big positive of this card. The next thing I want to get into guys is his shooting. Now his finishing isn't great guys, his composure is okay, but his finishing isn't that good. So if you were to boost that shooting, I feel like he would of course become a much better finisher of the ball. That would maybe allow you to play him in an attacking midfield or more central midfield role. However guys, what I would say is that his long shots and shot power, his long shots are okay, but his shot power is really good. So he does hit the ball very well, will maybe cause a couple of deflected goals for you guys as well. The big thing as well about this card, guys, which I do want to talk about, it's the final part that I want to talk about before we get into his couple of goals, is that this card is very physical and big and strong, and that's really important because it's not something that you consider out with of the stats themselves, but this card is very strong in terms of just holding on to the ball, getting in the way, as you guys can see there. He does the little things there like that very well, and that's really useful to have because if you are in a 50-50 where you might lose the ball, this Jeff Hendrick card can retain the ball, keep possession, and keep things cycling over as well, which is nice to have. I do think that that is a really big part of his game as well, is being that physical presence in the middle of the park and allowing you to feel a little more protected around those centre backs and midfield as well, having that card in there. Now guys, what I will say is whilst this card is pretty decent, it does of course have its drawbacks in terms of playstyle. It does feel a little bit clunky, it does feel slow at times as well, so you do have to bear that in mind when using this card, that it may not be the best card, but of course it is a free card nevertheless, and it's something that is different from the other players that have been released too, something that you can fit into your squads as well relatively easily with the squad building options available. As we get into the final few clips, guys, what you guys are going to see is just his general attacking play. Of course, this one here, one where he actually creates a goal off a deflected shot, which I mentioned from the shot power earlier, and in these last two clips, the two goals which he scored for me, the first one of course just picking the ball up here on the edge of the box, driving through the gap in the defense and smashing in with the left foot, and in this final clip here, guys, another good finish here where he runs from deep, takes the ball up and gets a chance after playing in the right winger, gets the ball back on the edge of the box and smashes it near post. So guys, getting to this final Jeff Hendrick summary, the key stats of this card, guys. I actually think his physicality is far understated from what it actually is. I think the strength, the aggression, the stamina, all of that is fantastic, and I really loved having a card that was able to do so much physically in that midfield for me. In terms of the chemistry style, guys, you could try out Shadow on him. That's what that does to his defending and pace, and you look what that does to him. It brings him to above 80 on everything. So that's a really nice, well-rounded card you could have there. If you went another way, guys, and wanted him to be more of a box-to-box, then you could stick the engine on him. That's what that does to the card there, and really does make him an elite passer, a decent dribbler, and a decent acceleration, and okay acceleration and sprint speed as well. In terms of similar players, I actually think he's very similar to this Pierre Lesmelu, maybe a more defensively orientated card because of course his work rates don't allow him to go travelling forward like a crazy man, but Lesmelu is more of an attacking player, but this Jeff Hendrick not too far off in terms of comparable types of cards. In terms of linkability, guys, of course got a perfect link to Kieran Clark. To go into the Premier League more, you've got a perfect strong link to that Doherty, Irish, Republic of Ireland icon in Roy Keane, of course, as well as Newcastle players, Connolly in there as well. So you've got a bunch of links you could link this card into. Of the three cards, guys, that they've released for the St. Paddy's Day objective, this would be the one that I would go for. I actually think he's actually an okay midfielder and could be a very usable midfielder if you're in Division, say, 3 or 4. I think 2 or 1, of course, you're pushing it a little with this card. I think maybe in Division 3 you're pushing it a little, but this card is certainly usable, especially for swaps requirements, first owner squads as well. He'll be more than usable in terms of that. Sticking him into squads and using him in that way will be a fun card to use as well, and this would be the one that I would go of the 3. You may well end up completing the others as a result of going for this card, but I would focus on this one if you are going to go for one of them and were to pick one out. Hope you guys did enjoy this review. If you did, please do smash that like button. Until next time, I will see you all in a bit.